morning, everyone. It is March the 6th already. I hope you're having a wonderful start to the month of March. It's what I always refer to as the spring month. And of course, we're going to change our time. Since we live in Texas, we spring forward and we fall back on our clocks. So that is coming up on Sunday. I think what would be a really neat something to show you that would be a collection. You know, I did a purse collection. I have 5 of those videos showing you each section of purse collections that I have, and that was so much fun. I really enjoyed that. So I've been kind of brainstorming and trying to think, what other collections do I have that might interest people? And on this one, it might not interest everyone, especially if you are not necessarily a Disney fan. But if you are a Disney fan, then I hope that you will enjoy this. So what I'm going to do is show you my collection, which is it's pretty small, of Spirit jerseys. And I have one on right now. Since this is March, and you also, I always sort of associate March with green. And since St. Patrick's Day comes on the 17th, and, you know, green kind of, when you say March, I think green. When you say February, I think reds and pinks. When you say January, I think of blues and cools and, you know, things like that. So each month sort of gives me a flavor or a vibe or a color thought. So here we go with March. Now, let me tell you a little background. I don't have a big background on the Spirit jerseys, but I will tell you what I have discovered. All right, so to tell you a little bit about the history of the Spirit jerseys, I just went on the internet and I literally typed in the history of Spirit jerseys from Disney World and Disneyland. So of course a lot of information comes up. Have you noticed that every time you type in something, you always get the AI version first, which is, it's always pretty, you know, true, but I kind of like to dig a little bit deeper and a little bit further. So I went to a site that's called All Ears Net, and of course they are always reporting something about Disney all the time and are very informative. So I thought that I would go to them and look at the history of Spirit jerseys and where they all came from. So I'm reading pretty much from it. I'll kind of do a little synopsis a little bit, break it down a little bit, but I'll pretty much view them. And so if you're interested, you can also go to allearsnet, allears.net, and you can find out the same information. So we know that Disney has certainly mastered merchandising. If you've ever been to Disney World, that's what it's all about, you know, shopping and people buying the merchandise and having something to bring home. It's fun for us, and I know it's fun for other people because the stores are always packed. So the company collaborates with a lot of different brands to release the new merchandise collections in the parks. And they do this online as well, multiple times each month. And if you go to Disney, you know, the disneystore.com, you can also see a lot of the merchandise and also the Spirit jerseys. So from Crocs to Loungefly to Lily Pulitzer, you're gonna find all kinds of merchandise with many different Disney designs, you know, all year round. So we're going to take this in-depth look at the extremely popular Disney merchandise line called the Spirit jersey. So Spirit jerseys are a unisex fit. They are long-sleeved shirts, and they feature a distinctive horizontal center right here, and on the front and on the back. And they typically have a large design that runs from shoulder to shoulder on the back of the shirt, which I will stand up in a little bit and show you the back as well. And then there's going to be a small design on the left chest area. So here's that little small design. Now the one I have on right now is from the Tiki Room, and the Tiki Room features animated birds and animatronic birds. I think that's animatronic birds, however that word is. I'll put it on the screen. I'll look it up and correct myself. And it has been one of my favorites since I was in high school. And a little history on that. When I was in high school at 16, my parents and I started going to Disney World and Disneyland. And then when I married my husband in 81, we took our first trip. I believe it was either 82 or 83. I'd have to go back and look. He had never really looked much at Disney. I mean, he knew the world of Disney on TV. You know, he would watch that. But as far as being into it, like I was and the way I was growing up, he didn't have a clue. And he, of course, had never been to Disney World. His family didn't travel much. And so when he married me, you know, and I told him all about it, and I have always been so infatuated with Disney and the art of Disney. That was just part of who Lora was. So he took a trip and we went, and he was just mesmerized. And I really think that he almost loves it. I wouldn't say more than I do, but he gets more of a kick out of it watching us enjoy it, I think, probably, than anything else. But I do know that he appreciates the art and the, you know, how everything is detailed in Disney. And if you enjoy that, if that's kind of your thing, you understand what I'm talking about. Now, do I agree with everything that Disney does? Absolutely not. My probably biggest disappointment was when Epcot came along, and in Epcot they began offering alcohol. And I really think if Disney himself, if Walt Disney had lived, he would have been disappointed in that, because if you read about the life of Disney and what he was trying to create and do in the parks, you know that he wanted to have a place where parents and children could come and enjoy something together. He had said that he took his girls to parks, you know, every Saturday. That was kind of their thing. But there really wasn't anything for him to do. So he thought how wonderful it would be to create a place where the adults could have fun, the kids could have fun, and they could do it together. And so, you know, when that was created, when Disney came about, when Disneyland was started, that was the big thing, was being able to visit with your family. And then when Disney World started, I don't know, it just kind of took off on a different foot, so to speak. And when Disney passed away, and you know, the company was taken over by other people, or the CEO was a different person, I don't know, it just seemed to change a little bit. That part has been disappointing to me. It's not so much that when you go, you really see people inebriated. I wouldn't necessarily say that. But there is a lot of drinking in the Epcot park, and I'm disappointed in that. I just wish that it could have stayed more family oriented. But you know, that's a personal thing. You know, for me and my family and how I was raised, I do not drink alcohol at all, and that's just my choice and my belief system. So I can't speak for everybody, and that's just totally, you know, your thing, but it's just how I feel about it. Now, I got completely off of the Spirit jerseys, but I just, you know, wanted you to know that I don't necessarily agree with everything that Disney does. You know, I don't necessarily agree with their statements on certain lifestyles as well, and how they have incorporated that into their movies and so forth. And it's just not, it's not my belief system. But does that mean I'm not going to enjoy Disney and love it? I'm not going to let that change me. I can only speak for myself and how I feel, and everybody else has to do the same. So there's that. Okay, so back to the Spirit jerseys. Sorry, I got off on a rant. So the Spirit jerseys are made by the Spirit Clothing Company of Los Angeles, California, and they've been around since 1983, but they didn't start selling with Disney until 2017. So since 2017 to 2024, which is 7 years, I have been slowly collecting these spirit jerseys. And I would like for Suzanne, my daughter, to do one of these too, because I will tell you, she has a whole lot more than I do. And hers are really, really pretty. She's got some very, very great designs. I'll have to tell her about that. I'll have to talk to her and say, hey, you do a video too, because that'll be something that my audience can go over and look at with you. All right, so 2017, that's when it all began. And you can find these jerseys in the Disney parks in many merchandise locations that sell clothing. And you can also find a variety, of course, of them on Shop Disney. So how much do the jerseys cost? Honestly, I can't remember what the very first ones cost. I was thinking that it was like in the $40 to $50 range. Now they are $70, $80, and $90. So they've gone up quite a bit. And it says on this particular site that the jerseys range from $70 to $80, and the kids' sizes range from $50 to $60. And the kids' jerseys are just adorable. They're so cute. Do the spirit jerseys run big? Yes, they are designed to be oversized. And the company suggests that men, if you're a man, order your usual clothing size. But if you're a woman, you might want to size down one, especially if you don't want the oversized look. Now, I get a large. I can wear a medium. The only reason I don't stick with a medium is because it is narrower toward the hip, but it's always very, very wide, as you can see, from the shoulder to the armpit area. And it's always really nicely long sleeved. You don't have to worry about having, short sleeved problems. Suzanne has gotten extra large in the past, and I think that they're way too big for what she enjoys wearing. So I could wear a medium, she could wear a large. It's just kind of up to how you want it to look. So the spirit jerseys are released many times throughout the year, and the popularity of the jersey means that most major events and holidays are going to get their own Disney spirit jersey release. In other words, every time they come up with a new movie or a cartoon or whatever, there's going to be a jersey that comes out with that. The Disney World Park has like Flower and Garden Festival, Festival of the Arts, Food and Wine Festival. And so every festival that they have, they've got a spirit jersey that's going to match that. A lot of the rides have spirit jerseys that match them, which is what this one is. This was the Tiki Room. So it's just really kind of fun to see all the different kinds of jerseys. There is no telling. I wish I could find that information. How many different kinds of jerseys Disney has made since 2017. I'm sure it would be quite amazing. So like during Halloween and during Christmas, you're going to see those themed spirit jerseys. And like I said, for every Epcot festival, and of course more, there's always something coming out. So that was the information on that one. And then I also found out some information on another site, and I thought this one did a really good job. And it was it's called Touring Plans. And this was written by a lady named Erin Foster. She was an original member of the Walt Disney World Moms panel that plans Disney. And so she's a regular contributor to this site. So If you want to find out what she says, just go to touringplans.com, and this is what she says. So, Disney has a reliable body of merchandise that appears in regular rotation in the theme park shops and on Disney.com, shopdisney.com. And of course, these include things like mugs and hats and Loungefly backpacks and the Spirit jerseys. So Spirit jerseys are not unique to Disney. The Spirit part of that name is kind of a nod to their roots in the cheerleading world. So you can find Spirit jerseys that are, you know, have logos of universities, sport teams, and a lot of non-Disney pop culture brands. But their nod to Disney was when the manufacturer decided to partner with Disney, like I said, in 2017. But the manufacturer, which was the company from California, has been around for about 30 years. So that's kind of interesting. So the standard Spirit jersey is made of heavyweight cotton, and it is very, very thick. It's a lot more hefty than a typical t-shirt, but it's not quite as weighty as a sweatshirt. So during the winter, you might find some Spirit jerseys that are kind of made of a fluffy velour type fabric, and I do have one of those that I'll show you. Or they might be a hand knitted design, but the majority are of a cotton variety. So women are usually more likely to wear the Spirit jerseys but the shirts are meant to be unisex, and a lot of men wear them as well. You'll see them wearing them around the parks. So they make versions for children, like I said, and they also make some for pets. So the hallmark of Spirit jerseys are that they are an oversized fit and they have bold designs. They have a boxy shape that absolutely flatters no one, but that way it's perfect for everyone. And colors and patterns change often, and you will find new versions seasonally as well as themed to promote things like Disney, of course, Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars. Suzanne's got a Star Wars one that's really cool. So any new film that comes out, any new ride, or any event, you're going to see a Spirit jersey. Now she says that the midpoint range of price is from $75 to $100, and that's absolutely true. And if you go on her site, you can see a variety of some of the different jerseys that they've had in the past. So that's kind of a brief overview of what a Spirit jersey is and where it came from and how they are popular in Disney World and Disneyland. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you each one, and I will try it on so you can see what it looks like and show you the back, and we'll just kind of do a talk through of it. And I hope you find this interesting. I think they're a lot of fun, and let's get started. Okay, so a while ago I told you that I had one that was in that fluffy velour-like fabric. Well, this is not actually a Spirit jersey, it's just a regular sweatshirt type thing. But Suzanne does have one. I believe hers is in pink, and it is a Spirit jersey, and it's in this beautiful velour fabric, which is extremely warm. I mean, this one is great for a heavy snow day. And of course, this one just has Mickey on the front of it, but it is not a Spirit jersey. But I just wanted you to see that that's the kind of fabric that I was talking about, this pretty velour fabric. All right, so this is the full view of the Tiki Room Spirit jersey. And this one is in a large. And you can see that the patterns of the tiki birds go all the way down the front. And then on the back, this is what you see all the way across the shoulder. It's very, very bold to see that walking around in the parks, but you're not going to miss your family if they've got on a Spirit jersey. You can see those words from far away. But this was one of my favorites. The Tiki Room is one of my favorite places to go visit, and I just thought it would be so fun for the month of March. So I knew I would be doing this today, so my hair is not in any particular pretty fashion at all. It's flat today because I knew I would be taking clothes on and off, so forgive the hair. But anyway, I'm also not showing you these in any particular order. as to when I bought them, I'm just taking them out of the closet and going from there. Now, this one is a color block version, and it came from Disneyland. And I don't know, anything with the Mickey on it, I'm gonna love. So this is what it looks like front. Here's the back. And I think I really love the color block version of this one. It's really cute. Another thing that kind of bothers me just a little bit is a lot of the Spirit jerseys, the neck openings are pretty small. So when you're getting them off and on, sometimes it's a little hard if you have a larger head like me and a bigger, thicker neck. So you might consider that if you're deciding to buy one. So I guess if you went up in size, maybe to an extra large, the neck would be bigger, but then you're going to be dealing with extra, fabric here. So as you can see, if I come in here like this, that would be my normal size. So I am still oversizing a little bit by buying a large, but that kind of gives you an idea of what the fit would be, because I'm between a 12 and a 14 size. So if you're trying to decide what size you would want, if you're going to buy a Spirit jersey, maybe this will give you some help there. All right, this one I do remember came from Disneyland, our trip last year in 2024. It's one of my favorites. I love the chambray look of it. And then on the chest area on the left, it just has the D on it. But I love the splatter effect of this one, and it looked really, really cute with some cropped white jeans that I wore with it. So Disneyland is where this one came from. Here's the front and the back. Another thing that they slightly do, it's not really apparent, but there's a slight curve to the hemline, and it dips up just a little bit on each side. But a lot of people like to wear leggings with these. So with it being dipped down in the bottom, that covers up, your bottom area if you're wanting to wear it with leggings, which they really do look very, very cute with leggings. Something else that I thought that I would mention is when I'm hanging my Disney jerseys, I do not hang them by the shoulder, because I do not want that little, edge that you sometimes get on a hanger. I do use these covered hangers, these velour covered hangers, which are pretty good about not making the pointed tops on the shoulder, but I just want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So I just simply fold them like so with the arm inside, and then let it fall like this, and that hangs nicely in my closet. So just something that I thought I would mention about hanging them up. This one also came from Disneyland, and it has on the chest estimated 1955, and this one concentrates on Goofy and Donald Duck, which I'm not real drawn to those characters, but because they're a part of the Fab Five, which I call Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, Goofy, and Donald are usually the Fab Five that you see. So anyway, I just thought it'd be fun to have one with those two characters. This one came from Disneyland as well. This is the front and the back. Very cute. And I think this one came from a previous Disneyland trip several years ago. So, yeah, not sure what year, but anyway, and it is a large. All right, this one is a 100-year anniversary celebration jersey. It was called 100 Years of Wonder, and I just love the starbursts and the tie-dye effect with the different colors. And here's the patch, and it is a raised thing here. Sometimes they're embroidered, sometimes they're just screen printed. This one happens to be a puffy raised area here. And this is the front of it and the back. And I love how the little characters, all of the famous Disney characters, are right down at the bottom so you can see every one of them. Another thing about spirit jerseys is if you do take a trip to Disney World, you're probably not going to want to wear them in the summer. They are warm, and even pulling them up, you know, sleeve wise, you can do that, but it's still probably pretty warm. Now in the evening, it gets a little chilly, even in the summertime. But during the day, you're gonna die. So, you know, usually the spirit jerseys are better for late fall, maybe early spring, before the temperature starts getting up really high. But they're so much fun, and I just love wearing them around the house. They're comfortable, they're easy, and they wash very well. Another thing that I have done, if I choose to wear a spirit jersey when we've gone at Christmas, if it's been during the winter time and it's after Christmas but we're still there and I want to wear a spirit jersey, I can easily layer a hoodie, one of those light cotton hoodies underneath here, so you have a little bit of extra warmth, because Disney in wintertime, it does get really chilly, and when you're by the ocean, you're close to the ocean, that chill is even colder than it is here in Texas, in the Texas Panhandle. So sometimes you want that extra warmth underneath if you choose to wear one in the wintertime. All right, this one is from one of my favorite rides, It's a Small World. This one is pretty old. I do not remember when I got it, but I do know that it was based on the It's a Small World ride, and it is from Disney World. And then up here on the chest area, there's a slightly raised, puffy thing that says goodbye. And if you've ridden the ride, It's a Small World, at the very end of the ride, they say goodbye in all the languages that are represented by the countries in the ride, which I think is really, really cute. So another reason I like that ride is because it's long. If you know about some of the Disney rides, they're over in 90 seconds, and that's just, it's a minute and a half and you're done. So any ride that I can be on there for a good 10 minutes, I love. So Disney, It's a Small World. So here is the front side, and again, it is a large, and then here's the back. This one is all black, one of my favorites. And on the left side, it says estimated 1971 on this one. And the thing I like about this one is it is sequined in the back, which it's really blingy and really cute. So this is what it looks like in the front, and then here is the back. Now for this one, if you know about the LuLaRoe company that was so popular, maybe 8 years ago or so, LuLaRoe had Disney shirts, t-shirts, leggings, you know, they were so cute, and we did wear those. And if you go to my connection, I think I'm going to link it down today. I don't think I've had it on before. I'm going to link my extra Instagram that I have that is just Disney related. You'll be able to go back and see the LuLaRoe clothing that Suzanne and I used to wear when we would go to the park. And it sounds like we go a lot. We really don't or haven't, and yet we have. We've been going to Disney since Suzanne was in the 2nd grade. So here was kind of the pattern. We went 2nd grade, and then we waited 3 years. 5th grade, waited 3 years because we had to save that much money. 8th grade, waited 3 years. 11th grade, and then seems like after 11th grade, I don't know what happened, but we would usually go in the summer, and I would die, and my feet would swell, and I would get the Epcot rash, which if you go look up the Epcot rash, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was horrible. I am not a East Coast, lower Southern person. I die, I sweat profusely, I swell. It's just not fun. So I told my husband one time, it would be so fun, I think, to maybe go to Disney World when it's cold, and maybe during Christmas, because I would love to see the Christmas celebration. So we started going at Christmas. And since Suzanne was a senior, I believe, in high school, or either that or she was a freshman at, and she went to a college, a 4-year college for a while, and then she went to university. But it seems like every Christmas we went until we couldn't go, I believe, the year of COVID. Yeah, I think that's right. So we saved up money, and I was still working at that time, so it was a little easier to do, and Disney wasn't as expensive as it is now. Don't get me wrong, it was expensive. It took a lot to save up, but we were able to do it. We're a small family of 3. I did not have any other children. I just have one daughter, and so it sort of allowed us to be able to go a little bit easier, and so there's that. So anyway, the LuLaRoe clothing. So this, when I'm around the house, I wear these LuLaRoe leggings since they have a lot of black in them, and then they have Mickey on them, and it looks really cute. Would I wear it in the park? Yes, I probably would, because like I said, the jerseys are long enough that they cover the bum, so you're not worried about that area showing. But the leggings are a little cool also if you're there in winter. Might be okay more towards spring or maybe early fall, but I get kind of cold with the leggings. I usually have to wear a pretty heavy jean in the winter time, especially if we go during Christmas. But I just wanted to show you that these were available back then. You can still get things like this on places like ThredUp, POSHMARK, is it Merkai? Some of those places that sell, used clothing. And they're usually in pretty good shape because these washed well and held up pretty well. But anyway, just a thought to wear LuLaRoe leggings with some of the Disney outfits. So you're going to look at this one and say, didn't you just have that on? Well, they are very similar. This one, though, is in navy blue, and it has the white puffy letters on it. Also the D, also the D with the Mickey Mouse world shape, and estimated 1971. So this one, like I said, is navy blue, and it has the white puffy letters in the back. So here's the back side. And then I also have a pair of LuLaRoe leggings to go with this one. This one has all shades of blue, including the navy blue in the background, and it's got Minnie Mouse on it instead of Mickey Mouse. And so this looks really cute with the navy blue Spirit jersey. Okay, so those are the official Spirit jerseys. So how many do I have? Well, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which 8 is not a huge collection. Now, do I have other Disney like sweatshirts and things? Yes, I have those. I don't know if you particularly want to see those. If you would like to see that collection, let me know down in the comments, and I'll certainly think about doing that. But since Spirit jerseys are sort of a special collection, I thought they would be sort of fun to do. Now, as you know, there's always copycats. So Suzanne would go to Etsy, and she would have a lot of Spirit jersey type shirts made for her. When we would go to Disney for a special occasion, she would know what ride she wanted to match, or she would match her shirt to the park that we were going to that day. She was always really fun about doing stuff like that. So she would order from this particular person, and I don't know who it was, she would have to tell you, and they would make her a jersey to go with the park that we were going to be in. And she always looked really, really cute. It was lots of fun. Plus, those shirts were cheaper, I think. I'll have to ask her, but I think they were cheaper than like buying a Disney jersey. Now, most of these that I have here were not in the $70 range. I would say they were more like $59 probably. There might have been a $69, maybe $71. I think this one that was the 100-year celebration might have been a little bit higher. It might have been $79. Honest to goodness, I cannot remember because I don't even remember when I bought them. So sorry about that. But it just kind of gives you an idea of what you would be spending if you decided to do the spirit jerseys from Disney World and Disneyland. So now let me show you the copycats because some of them are kind of cute too. Okay, this is a copycat from Etsy. And it actually belonged to my daughter, and she didn't want it anymore, or she wasn't as comfortable in it. So it got passed down to me, which I was so happy about because this one is super special, and I'll show you why in just a minute when I turn around. But I love the picture of Walt Disney on the left chest area. It does have a similar spirit jersey look to it. It's called Boxcraft or something is the name of the shirt, and you can see that it's a much wider neck. So the things that you order from Etsy are not going to be quite as tight as they are on the actual spirit jerseys. This one also kind of has a high-low effect. It's a slight high-low effect, but I will tell you it's not quite as long as the spirit jerseys. But look at the back of this one. It is absolutely the cutest thing I've ever seen. It is all the signatures of the characters in the park. And if you have a younger child, we didn't ever do this because I don't know why we didn't. In fact, I don't know when they started doing it, but you can buy a little autograph album to have each character sign for your child. I've even seen adults do it. You know, would I do it? Maybe. I've never done it, but it would be a thought if I had time. It just takes time to do that. It kind of takes time away from doing the activities and the rides because you have to stand in line, and do all that. But I just thought this was so cute that the autographs are already on the shirt, And anyway, it's fun if you have a younger child for them to go up and, they get to hug the character and they have their books and they sign their name. And it's just really cute. I enjoy seeing that when we go. But anyway, I thought this one was extra special when Suzanne found it. And she did wear it, but then when she gave it to me, I said, I am so excited. Thank you. I will keep it. This one is another copycat spirit jersey, also from Etsy, and Suzanne gave this to me. I believe it was either for my birthday, Mother's Day, I really don't remember. It was a trip that we were going to take to Disneyland, and as you can see, it's got the teacup and the teapot on it to go with the cup and saucer ride that's in both parks. And as you've seen around my house, you know that I collect teapots and teacups. So this was perfect for me. So here was the front of it. And also I want you to notice that it does have the spirit jersey lines here. You just can't see them because they're integrated into the fabric color. But this is sort of a turquoise color. And then it's glittery. What's on here is sort of a royal blue, which I thought was a really pretty compliment to the color. So this was the front side, and then here is the back. I just remember when she gave it to me, she was so excited because she knew that I would love this because of the teapot and the teacup. So if you go on Etsy, you look up spirit jerseys, you'll see a lot of the copycats, and like I said, they're usually a little bit less expensive unless you do like a special order, which Suzanne has done before. But yes, I love this, and thank you, Suzanne. I really do enjoy it. Another copycat version that came from Etsy. Now this one was not mine. This was also Suzanne's, but she was going to, it's older, so she was going to give it away or put it in a Goodwill bag, and I said no. Don't do that, I will take it. So she had put on it the Minnie Mouse version with the Epcot World design on it. And then on the back, instead of it being Disneyland or Disney World, she had it specially made to say Epcot. And they copied the font of the lettering that they used for Epcot. So I thought that was really unique to do that way. And of course, the day that we went to Epcot, when we went on our trip, she wore this, and a lot of people had a fit. Oh, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? It's not a real Spirit jersey. It came from Etsy. You can also see that it is much larger in the neck and not really comfortable for me either. Probably if I'm going to wear this at some point, I would put probably a gray hoodie that would come up and kind of cover up my neck. Also, keeping you from getting sunburned. Even in the winter, you get a little bit of a sunburn in that hot Florida sun. So this is what this jersey looked like in the front, and here is the back. All right, we are at the last of the jerseys, and this is also a copycat jersey from Etsy. And this was a gift given to me by my daughter once again. One of the things that we love about Disney World especially is riding the monorail. Now, the monorail in Disneyland has no heat and no air conditioning. It is natural. And we rode it last summer in Disneyland when we were there. And it wasn't even all that hot necessarily in California, but we died on the monorail, so it wasn't very pleasant. But the one in Disney World is, of course, heated and air conditioned. So it's just fun. You know, I've always loved the monorail because you think of it being such a unique transportation idea that Walt had, and what a unique thing it is. So this sort of celebrates that idea of the monorail. So up close, you can see that it's got some wording on it, and you'll be able to see the wording better in the back, and I'll tell you what it says in just a minute. So anyway, here is the front. Again, it has a wider neck on it, so it's a little bit more open. And then here is the back. Okay, so something that I've always loved, and Suzanne knew I loved it. When we would get on the monorail, a lot of the rides, they speak both Spanish and English. And I took Spanish in high school for 2 years. I had the most wonderful teacher ever. I mean, I absolutely loved her. She made learning Spanish so easy. She made it so much fun. And I also was able, back at the time, I graduated from my university in 1980. So from 76 to 80, you were able to substitute, which was a blessing for me. You did not have to take math if you took a foreign language. And math has never been my thing. I like English and all of that, you know, much better. I could do maybe science and history a little bit better, but math, no. Basic math is all I am. Algebra, bless all of you that understand all of that, because I still to this day do not. So it was a great blessing for me to be able to sub in a foreign language, and of course I chose Spanish. So I did really well in Spanish in high school. I'm not bragging, I'm just saying, because I wasn't a super student. I was not a full across the board A student. I was an A, B student, and an occasional C got put in there because I was more artsy and musically inclined instead of subject inclined. So I wanted to get all those subjects out of the way so that I could concentrate on my art. But then, you know, you've got to be well-rounded across the board. So that's why, you know, you have to take all those subjects and get a little bit better at them. But anyway, In college, I took it for 1 year, got that out of the way, subbed in for my math requirements, and yes, I made an A. Yay! But anyway, the professor that I had for Spanish was also the German professor. And again, he was one of the best teachers I've ever had in the university over all of my other subject areas, even some of the art classes. This man was the best teacher, educator, kind. He just was everything. And he made it to where his students could do really, really well. Now, did I ever get good at speaking Spanish? No. Would I have liked to have had? Would I have liked to have been bilingual? Absolutely. I wish to this day I could be bilingual, but you know, you have to practice that. And I did not. And where I taught, I did have some total Spanish speaking students, so I could say words to them to make them feel comfortable, but I certainly could not carry on a conversation with them. But I have always loved the foreign languages. I think Spanish is beautiful. I love to hear Italian. I adore hearing French. German is a little bit harder, you know, languages, but Spanish, I've always loved. In Spanish, you hear more in our country. So it is in Spanish what they say when you get on the monorail in Disney World. And I think they do it in Disneyland too. I don't know right now, I can't remember. I just know it was always Disney World. So I'm going to probably mess this up. So those of you out there who speak Spanish, forgive me. But I'm going to try my best to tell you what it says on my shirt. And this is what it says when you ride the ride. So it's, por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas, which means, please stand clear of the doors. And if you want to correct me, those of you that can speak Spanish out there, you can let me have it. I don't know, I don't care. But anyway, I tried my best, and I even have it written down. I keep it in my notes because I've always wanted to be able to say what it says on this shirt. And we loved that. I always talked about it. And so Suzanne made me a shirt to go with that. All right. So that is my journey through my Spirit jerseys and copycat jerseys for Disney World and Disneyland. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed sharing with you. It's been kind of fun to go back through and look at them. I would love to have more. I would love to have some of the older ones. And my collection is not nearly as vast and good as the jerseys that are offered in the parks. There are some beautiful jerseys over the years. And you know, just knowing the amount that they cost, I can only get so many. You would like to have one of each one, but then what would you do with them? Would you wear them every day? I don't know. But anyway, I'm proud of the ones that I have. I've enjoyed them, and it is a fun thing to look for when you're in the parks. It's something that, you know, you can bring back tchotchkes and all the little characters and stuff, and they just sit. But a piece of clothing you can wear, you know, forever, as long as it lasts. And they do last very well. They wash well, they last well, and you know, I've just enjoyed them. So Disney World, Disneyland, Spirit jerseys, hope you enjoyed it. God bless every one of you. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'm going to think about what kind of collection I can do next. I'm thinking. So, thank you. See you.